All right, we want to update our latest story this morning, and that is 15 people are dead, dozens more injured after Sunday's mass shooting during a Hanukkah event at Bondi Beach in Australia. For the latest this morning, we've reached out to journalist Gary Nunn. He is in Sydney. Gary, while we're going to speak to you, we're going to show our viewers live pictures of what it looks like where you are right now. Officials are investigating Sunday's shooting as a terrorist attack that targeted Australia's Jewish community. What more do we know about how Sunday's attack unfolded?
Yes, this was an anti-Semitic terrorist attack against the Jewish community here in Sydney. 15 people are dead, 42 are in hospital. We know that there were two shooters. They were a father and son. I refuse to name them because that is what they would want. Who I will name, though, is one of the heroes of the day. Ahmed El Ahmed was a shop owner who tackled one of the shooters and wrestled his gun away from him, saving countless lives in the process. And he's been hailed a national hero here in Australia today. The other people who are heroes today are the people that have donated blood. There was a massive call out for those to donate blood, and the queues went right around the block. The community here in Australia in a state of massive shock, and everyone just wants to know what they can do. And they responded in force at that call out. We know the identities of some of the victims now, of the 15 people who died, and I do want to humanise some of those. The youngest was just 10 years old. Her name was Matilda. Two rabbis were also killed, and the oldest was a Holocaust survivor who had come to Australia from the Ukraine, and he was shot protecting his wife from gunshots. There was a really somber environment here today. Everyone is in a complete state of shock. We do not see mass shootings like this in Australia hardly ever, and so there's a real feel of shock, of somberness, and also of defiance. I went down to Bondi today to see some of those flowers you can see on the screen, and you could hear defiance against hate and people wanting to unite against acts of hate like this.
Yeah, Gary, you know, when we were looking at those pictures along with you as you were sharing these stories, and you captured it so well, just saying it's somber. You can see people there. They're quiet. They're reflective. The outpouring is massive. But if I could bring it back to you for just a moment. After the attack, you wrote a piece in The Independent. It was called "Bondi Was My Safe Haven." After today, Australia will never be the same. Can you explain more of that for us?
Australia had some of the tightest gun laws in the world. And so it often felt like one of the safest places in the world to be. And those gun laws followed the Port Arthur massacre, and following that, the gun laws in Australia were tightened massively. What we know is going to happen, because Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said today that Australia's gun laws will change. He is going to put up for discussion with Cabinet tighter restrictions on gun laws, even though we currently have some of the tightest in the world. Australia, to me, I moved here from the UK 14 years ago. It just is such a safe place, and you rarely see any acts like this of mass murder, and especially not gun violence. And so I think that's where the state of shock comes from today, where we just are not used to seeing things like this. It is horrific what has happened, and it's a horrific act of hate against a community in a beachside like Bondi, a beachside town, which is known for being very accepting, and all sorts of different people come to Bondi Beach, the iconic beach where the city meets the beach in Sydney. And this is the kind of division that Sydney-siders just will not stand for. And you can see that in the mass outpouring of grief of all those flowers. Today, when I went down there were some Jewish prayers being said, and then everyone broke spontaneously into the Australian national anthem as well, just to show an act of unity on a really dark day for Australia.
Gary, really quickly, any word on what's happening in the days to come, both either in religious services or something that the city of, or the community of Sydney or the country is doing to honor those who were killed?
Hanukkah will continue, and police presence will be increased at the celebrations to mark Hanukkah, the festival of light for the Jewish community. There's going to be, as I mentioned, a reckoning about Australia's gun laws, and I think at the moment everyone is just in a state of shock. All of the flags are at half-mast. Everyone is in a state of grief. In the coming days, I think there's going to be an appeal for calm, an appeal for unity, and for politicians, especially on the right, not to use this to create further division and further hate.
Journalist Gary Nunn joining us from Australia this morning. Gary, thank you.